Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm here to talk to you today about All Quiet on the Western Front, aka... don't really have a joke for this one. The synopsis. Germany is fighting in World War I. Paul and his friends, quickly as they can, join the army to fight for the fatherland and for glory. But these poor kids soon realize that war is not everything they thought it was, and they slowly discover the horror that humanity is capable of. So this film is a bit of a tough one. Tough because you see the horrors of war. Tough because I've seen those kids. I've seen those stupid kids. I was one of them just 10 years ago. This movie was particularly, I don't want to say haunting, but tragic because I can imagine a bunch of 18-year-old kids being hyped up by a teacher. You're going to go fight for glory, for the fatherland! And then they're like lambs sent off to the slaughter. This film opens with a very powerful scene of soldiers being shot and killed, German soldiers being shot and killed. They strip the bodies of clothes, wash them, repair them as needed, and then reissue them out to a new body to be killed. That is horrible. It's also anger-inducing because these kids don't know any better. They never question, why aren't the generals up front here with us? Where are all the officers? No, they're all on the back. The guys riling up these kids saying, fight for the fatherland. They're the ones that never had to risk their own neck. It's terrible. But in any such case, these kids sign up wanting to go fight, wanting to go to war, thinking about glory. And then they quickly discover the horrors. They see men dying, people being shot at. They don't realize how hard trench warfare is. At one point, they begin to have a mental breakdown, or they're in an underground bunker that's being shell-shocked, or being shelled. And then when they're told, run outside quick, they can't. They're scared. They're these poor young boys, these kids, crying out for their mothers because they're terrified, and it's understandable. They didn't expect that. They were told all these stories of glory, and when in reality, they were signing up for horror. There are several great shots throughout this film that kind of highlight the disparity between those that ordering the war, giving orders, the politicians, and the young men sent off to slaughter, which I think is a great commentary. There's a lot of cutaway shots where you see these soldiers starving, having to steal food, having to scrounge up what they can, this disgusting food, versus these douchebag politicians that complain, is this bread not fresh? No, sir, it was made last night. It wasn't just made. Like, really? That's what you're going to bitch about? And they show I want to say he's the Kaiser, Fredericks? Maybe. Eating a lavish steak with a bottle of wine, with a glass of wine, while these soldiers are starving for soup. And it's just increasingly sad because it's unfair. These kids who, they just know they're fighting for the fatherland. They don't understand the complexities of geopolitics, and they're fighting for no good fucking reason other than glory, when in reality, glory ain't really all that's chalked up to be. Now, as Germany is losing the war, we gradually see this group of friends get smaller and smaller as each are killed in combat in some way, shape, or form. Granted, Paul is somewhat of our main character, but we see this entire group of friends get narrowed down to just one of them. And I think, personally, the worst of it is in the final act, when an armistice is signed and is going into effect at 11 o'clock. 11 a.m. to be exact. Leading into that, Paul and his friend Kat go out to find food at a farm. They can steal some eggs, maybe even a chicken or so, whatnot. Farmer takes a shot at them, but they keep running. Later on, the farmer's young son catches up to them and shoots Kat. Kat dies the morning of the armistice. And bear in mind, Paul actually carries him all the way back to the medical field, and he dies.
Der Menschlichkeit. Ich bitte Sie den Waffenstillstand.
That's not the worst. Just 15 minutes before the armistice, this douchebag, Fredericks, I want to make sure I pronounce his asshole's name correctly. Give me 1 second. Fredericks, in disbelief that they've lost the war, orders one last glorious attack for Mother Germany, and orders these soldiers at gunpoint to go fight. He's ordering these kids to go die 15 minutes before the armistice is supposed to take place for his own glory. He's not even going to battle with them. He's telling them at gunpoint, go and fight or else. And then you get the last few minutes of this really sad movie of Paul, now battle hardened, fighting all these French soldiers trying to survive until the armistice. And then just seconds before the goddamn armistice takes place at 11 a.m., he gets stabbed in the back. Not 5 seconds later, ceasefire, and Paul dies. And I think what is the most haunting part of this is Paul dies, and a young German soldier that he helped, whose life he saved, goes by, picks up his scarf and his dog tags. And as you pan out, you see more and more bodies, and you begin to hopefully understand that each of those bodies was a Paul. Each of those bodies was a man, a person with a story, a family, someone that they loved, now gone to the horrors of war. To give you an idea of the scale of loss, this movie is, I don't even want to say depressing. It feels educational. It feels like the kind of movie you should show people to show that war is hell. And we should do everything we can to avoid it at all costs. I can understand now why this movie's been nominated. It does not hold back the gruesomeness of war. From men being shot and killed, stabbed and killed, run over by a goddamn tank. It's a horror film. Should people watch it? Yes. It should be a lesson to be taught to others about horror. I'm sorry I'm going around in circles. It's just, this movie's heavy. Normally I give pros and cons, but I don't really have any except war is bad, pass it on. Grade for this movie will be an A. But yeah. I don't typically, we do the subscribe, but that doesn't really feel right now, so try to have a good day. And if you want to see an important film, watch this. That said, you have a good one. Bye everyone.